say so, like that a student undergoes through during his PhD just prepares him or her like for the challenges uh, which one faces in a research career, and it also opens up one's horizon of knowledge and imparts the ability on that person to do research independently.
Okay, before we proceed, I just want to know how many of you here are from non-engineering majors? Mohit, Rohit, a lot of you. Vishal, Rahul, Arun. So a lot of you are from non-engineering backgrounds. Hina is also doing masters in physics. You can all know a lot about how to proceed towards research in this seminar. Now, moving back to Shanko. Now, what was your specialization in your undergraduation, and what is going to be your major in your PhD?
In my undergrad, as such, like we had no specialization. We all had to like cover a variety of topics, starting from Newtonian mechanics to quantum mechanics to thermal physics to optics and material physics and many subjects. There was as such no specialization per se, but since my undergrad years, I've always been like initially in my undergrad years, I wanted to do nanotechnology, and I also did a project at IIT Bombay as well on that topic. But after that, I met someone like he's Dr. Shiraz Minwala from CIFR Bombay, and like the interaction with him just I don't know, it changed my research interest into string theory. Like it was a 180-degree turn for me from like, nanotechnology to string theory.
Okay, what plans have you got after your PhD?
After my PhD, the obvious plan is to go for a postdoc. As I said, I want to pursue a career in academics, but I don't know, like maybe things might change for me and I just might end up looking for a job after my PhD. But as of now, I want to pursue a postdoc after my PhD, and then after some postdocs, I'll probably apply for a faculty position at a research institute.
Alright. Now, we should all discuss about Shanko's GRE preparation. So that is what we are all waiting for, isn't it? Yes? A lot of yes? A big yeah, says Sushant. Yes. Now we are going on for to discuss about your GRE preparation. Now, when did it start? When did you start your preparations? When did you plan about your preparations? When did this thought first hit you?
Like the first thing when it was in the month of May that I first planned to give my GRE, and I just registered for a test then. But and I started like preparations not seriously, but just looking through stuff, and that was mainly due to the fact that I was doing several projects at this point of time, and most of the time, like I had to devote to that, and there was no time at all, practically no time at all that I could give to my GRE preparations. But after like 1 month before my GRE, I just enrolled up with GREedge and started systematically preparing for my GRE.
Okay. So what was your target score in your GRE and how did you reach it?
Initially, when I started off, my target score was 325, sort of, or plus 325 plus. Perhaps it would have been better if it was 335. But I had set like told myself that yeah, try to reach 335 and above. So and work towards it, obviously. Setting that high target makes you work harder, and you know it always enables you to achieve higher as well than you would by setting a lower target.
All right. Generally, students have this perception like if I have a dream university, it will keep driving me towards that dream university. I'll have that fire within me to reach this dream university. So, what was your dream university? How did it drive you towards your GRE?
Yeah. String theory, there are many good places around the world. Like in US, let's say in India as well, there are many good places in Europe as well, Canada as well. But if I had to pick out three very good universities in string theory, I would have to say Harvard, Princeton University Institute for Advanced Studies, and University of California, Santa Barbara. So, and apart from that, there are eminent faculties in MIT as well, Stanford as well. But those groups are not as large as the ones I have the three institutions I mentioned earlier. Plus, in India, there are also like institutions like TIFR, HRI, CM, Chennai Mathematical Institute. These are good places.
So, while you were researching about universities, what were the confusions you faced? What were the difficulties you faced while for getting information about these universities? Were these information easily available? What kind of challenges you faced?
While researching for universities, the first thing one has to look for is, especially if one is looking for a research career, one really has to look for the faculty that's there, that's in that university, because ultimately it is your supervisor that will help you proceed further in a career. So that was the first thing that which I had to take into consideration while researching for my universities. And second was obviously the percentage of people under that particular group of researchers who have successfully got a postdoc. So balancing out these two factors was the primary thing which needed to be done before selecting my universities.
Did you all hear him, guys? Generally, students would shortlist universities based on the rank of the university. So, he advises students to first go by the course and then later on by faculty, qualified faculty of the university, analyze about them and then proceed with
Pardon, Mano, you're
shortlisting.
breaking up. Hello.
Can you all hear us clearly?
Hello.
Shanko, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Now, how did you manage time during your preparation? Especially students find it very difficult when they are in their college or when they are working. They would find it very difficult. Is it true or not, guys? Do you find it difficult to manage your college work, work in organization and your GRE? A big yes from everyone. So, Shanko, how did you manage?
Okay, for once, I won't be much help to the guys who are preparing right now, who are enrolled in college programs, because I'm not myself enrolled in any coursework and I'm doing a research in my field, but and I am really thankful to my supervisors. They had given me at the very end, they had given me the freedom to just focus on my GREs and not think about the research projects that I'm doing. So that was my biggest advantage, which I had to my benefit. But before that, when I was doing my research, I could not get any time to prepare for GREs.
So at that time you must have faced a lot of difficulty, time management issues.
Yeah, very much. And as I said, like at that point of time, I could not really focus on it, because like out of 16 hours a day working, 14 hours were devoted to just research to my project.
Okay. Now you have scored a massive 170 in GRE quantitative reasoning. How was that possible? What are the steps that you took in order to reach this massive 170 in GRE quant?
Okay. Initially, what I did was I took up all the main books that are available in the market and solved all the quant questions that was there. And following that, I looked up the material on GREedge and again practiced as many sums as possible. And like I would advise every one of you to follow the same thing. There is no alternative to hard work. You got to practice and practice and practice to achieve perfection.
Okay. So how would you rate GREH quantitative reasoning material? How did it help in your GRE preparations?
Yeah, GREedge quant material, I found it to be at a higher level than the questions asked on the GRE. So once I supplemented my preparations from the books with the GREedge quant material, I knew I was ready for the quant section of my GRE exam.
Okay.
And
Now we are going to move on to the verbal preparations. Now guys, tell me how many of you are very scared about your verbal preparations and how many of you are struggling with your verbal preparations. Even before I complete my question, there are a lot of me's and I's in front of me. A lot of people are struggling, and the suggestions which you are going to give them is definitely going to matter a lot to all of them. Now, Shanko, can you share us your verbal preparation plans? What all efforts did you put for your verbal preparations?
Yeah, for the initial part of my preparation, the pattern followed was the same. Just looked into the books, saw the questions that came, and practiced as many. And in addition to that, what you can do is study the if you don't have time on your hands, that is, study just the high frequency words of which are available in all the books. There are many books out there. You can just pick up some books and study the high frequency words. That was one thing for your vocab part. Then the word bot is there, and and these will help. And what you can additionally do is take a note of all when you give your online practice exams, and from whichever site possible, just make a note down of all the words that you did not know the meaning of. Then look up the meanings of them, revise them before going to sleep, and when you wake up again the next morning, just go through those words again. And while doing this, you will expand your horizon of vocabulary by a lot. And I am talking about around 300-400 words. So online tests, on also the practice exercises as well. Do it for the practice exercises as well. So
wow, that was really awesome.
Yeah, this was just for the vocab part. Yeah.
Okay. Shanko, I have 3 questions. You said you used some books before you started your serious preparations. Now, what are the difficulties which you faced while you were using the books? It can be the quality of the material. It can be difference in the actual GRE. It can be any difficulty that you faced.
As such, not really any difficulty that I faced, which I can really pinpoint out. But in some books, I found the quant material to be of a bit. It's okay, but not at par with the difficult level questions that you get on an actual GRE. And for that, just practice from the GREH material. I guess that's more than enough for your difficulty level questions.
Alright. Guys, here a lot of them are asking 2 questions. are you an avid reader already? Have you been reading novels and books? Have you been watching movies regularly? That is one question they are raising. And another thing is, how many words actually did you learn for your GRE out of this 3,500?
Okay. Yeah. Before start, like when I started my preparation, obviously I had to read to improve my RC skills, and also like reading. In fact, the thing I told you about vocab, do the same with like when you read some magazines and passages from editorials and stuff. If you don't understand a word, just follow the same procedure which I did for myself for vocab things. Hello.
All right. Now that was really that should have been very useful to all of you. Now shall we move on to the next section, guys?
Oh, I just forgot to answer the second question, like the number of words.
Yeah.
It was like from the words I did not know the meaning of, and I had to write down. Uh, it was around 1,500 or something, and there were many words which I already knew the meaning of. So approximately, if I had to say, it was around 2,000 or 2,100 or something.
So you learned close to 2,000 words. So remembering them must have been a real challenge.
Yeah, and and as like every day I had to, like before going to bed, I had to read all the words, and not all the things, whatever I could. I just used to read that, and when the next morning when I woke up, I used to revise again the same amount of words, and this routine followed for the last month of my preparation.
Okay. Now, guys, how interested are you to know about Shanko's profile and how is he planning to improve his profile? Even a lot of them are very interested. Yes. So now we are going to move on to discuss about his profile and how he is planning to improve his profile.
Okay. Yeah. Pardon. Sorry.
Now, could you please tell us some details about your CGPA and your internships and projects which you have done, Shanko?
First of all, like I studied in education system where there is no system of CGPA, but there are some online converters which I used for converting my marks to my CGPA. So my undergrad CGPA came out to be 4 in the US equivalent. US equivalent was 4, and my master's was 3.7. And
All right.
as for my
Now, did you
research,
do any internships and projects?
yeah. During my undergrads, I was working uh, for 2 months in summer at IIT Bombay. That was when I was interested in nanotech. And following that, I went for a brief stint to MIT. Like my professor had a collaboration with this, so the one who was collaborating with just invited me to just go there and just have a taste of what research is all about. That was a very good point in my undergrad career, going to MIT, Massachusetts one. And plus, after my masters, I enrolled in IISc Bangalore for as a project assistant in Center for High Energy Physics. There, I was there for 8 months, and following that, I'm enrolled in as a project assistant as well in Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science in Kolkata. That's for around 9 to 10 months now. Yeah.
So, how do you think this is definitely? What suggestion do you have to students? Is it a compulsory procedure for all the students to definitely take a research paper or paper publication or presentation? I'm raising this question because, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know, Indian students get very less guidance regarding research submissions or paper publication submissions. So what suggestions do you give to them, Shanko?
Yeah, first of all, it's really an unfortunate scenario, because students are not encouraged to take up research, active research during their undergrad years, because like during the undergrad years, the creativity of a student is at its peak. You're exploring new things every day, and like every day you're experiencing new things, new ideas coming to your head. But as you gradually like go into specializations, you become more ossified and you tend to think in one direction. So the research, you should always like be in like you should always try to do any research project that you can get a hand on. And although it's not mandatory for all, it's definitely recommended. It helps you a lot.
Okay, now we are. Now guys, have you gained some little information at least about how to proceed regarding your presentations, paper publications or research papers? Okay. Now we are going to have a very interesting session. Now we are going to have a rapid fire with Shanko. So how do you find it to be, Shanko? Do you have any expectations?
Not really.
Alright. Now guys, what are your expectations about this rapid fire? We have 10 questions for you, and each question you have to answer very quickly. Okay, so first question, your favorite section in your GRE, is it verbal, quant or AWA section?
Quant.
Quantitative reasoning. What is your favorite GRE word?
Okay.
This is rapid fire.
I'm thinking of, sorry again. Favorite GRE word? Vacillation, let's say.
Okay, can you share the meaning of the word as well?
It's moving to and fro. It's like oscillating.
Alright. Now what is the most challenging quant topic for you?
It was probability statistics and yeah, permutation combination. Probability, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, did you all hear him, guys? I told you already that permutation combination and probability is a difficult one. He's a person who scored 170 has also told that. Now, can you rate your overall GRE experience on a scale of 1 to 5?
5.
5. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what is your favorite quant topic?
Arithmetic.
Could you please repeat it?
Arithmetic. Anything under that.
Your favorite part is verbal. Is it sentence equivalence, text completion, or reading comprehension?
Sentence equivalence.
Okay, so how was it? Was it easy or difficult?
Pardon? Okay.
Is it generally easy or is it difficult?
It's a bit challenging. Yeah.
Challenging. Okay. Now, who is the person who inspires you the most?
My supervisor, my project supervisor has to be.
Okay. Who was your favorite student facilitator here at GREedge? Was it Kurande Yesu sir for your verbal section or Abhinaya ma'am for quant section?
Okay, with all due respect to Kurande Yesu sir, I would prefer Abhinaya ma'am.
Okay. And what was your favorite GREedge feature?
Pardon, I did not understand the question.
Your GREedge feature. We have a lot of features like ask it out, instant out.
Oh, okay. The instant out one. Just you can ask it immediately after giving if you have any doubts instantly. Yeah.
All right. Could you explain your GREedge experience in one word?
Fascinating.
Fascinating. All right. Alright, Chanko, you're done with your rapid fire questions. Now we are going forward with the exam experience. How was your GRE exam experience? How did you feel when your GRE exam was approaching?
Yeah, needless to say, I was very nervous, very nervous. Yeah, and I had quite a lot of butterflies in my stomach. But I kept telling myself to be calm and not be worried too much about the outcome. Like I was telling myself that I had given it my best shot. Whatever I did, I had tried my best, and I should just go and give the GRE without thinking what will come out of it. Just focus on the questions at hand. Just focus on the screen, and at the end I'll get what I deserve.
So you were scared a little, but proceeding forward, you tried to manage and become calm.
Yeah.
Okay. On the day of the exam, how did you feel during your exam?
Well, the experience of giving the GRE was definitely a huge learning curve of me. Like you apart from obviously answering the questions, you learn how to. I got to learn in a much better way how to handle pressure and the essence of time management as well. So initially when I sat down to give my GRE, I was a tad nervous, but gradually as I started giving I settled in and things went pretty smooth on my GRE. Although there were some obvious silly mistakes which I made during the exam. Yeah. Barring that, everything went smoothly.
Okay. Now, why do you think you have taken the GRE exam? Generally, students find it very difficult to face a GRE exam. As a person who has already faced the GRE, why do you think GRE is difficult, or what makes GRE exam challenging?
GRE exam, if I have to for the verbal section, it's obviously the high level of vocabulary which one demands. That's a big challenge for a student. As non-English speakers, as non-native English speakers, that's a huge challenge to understand to learn a lot of words which you haven't heard before. Plus, also, and this is directly related to the present scenario of research in India. We are not encouraged to do research. We do not, from a very early age, we do not get access to a lot of research material which is available, and I would suggest that if you can read on research materials in any field that may be, because your GRE RC passages come from all various fields. So if you can just get a hold of the research passages and start reading them as well, it would be a huge help. And as like many of us do not have access to it from a very early age, that makes RC a challenge in the first place. Plus the language thing is again there, at least for me. This is purely from my perspective. And for the quant section, it's like there are some twists and turns, subtle twists and turns in the question that they play, which tends to throw you off a bit. But I would suggest that if you can just be calm and just look into the question hard enough, the answer is right there in front of you. You just have to be calm and look for what the question is answering for you, demanding of you.
Alright. Now guys, we are going to go in detail about his various sections. How did he prepare for verbal separately? How did he prepare for quantitative reasoning separately? And each and every section we are going to discuss. Now, are you all interested to hear about it? Okay. First, we discuss about his verbal reasoning preparation. Let us hear Shanko. What did he do for his verbal reasoning section? Yes, Shanko.
This is okay. First, what I would like to advise everyone is just carefully go through the sentences and passages, because the answers to the questions are right there in front of the screen. The, it, and you must have heard your SFAs talking about it or read it in books that the questions are asked from the passage itself. There is nothing more to it. So what you should do is like don't panic, read carefully the passages and questions and try to understand the essence of the question. That is what the question is asking you to do. And to practice all from the RC part, especially start reading editorials as early as possible and also the research papers. Then this was stressed again and again by my verbal SFA, and I cannot stress it enough. It's very, very important.
Now, how did you prepare for your quantitative reasoning section, Shanko?
For the quantitative part was just again, as I said earlier, it was just picking up the various books and going through the various materials on GREedge website and just sitting down, practice, and give as many online tests as possible wherever you can get it.
Okay. Now, how was your AWA section, analytical writing assessment section? How did you face it? Like, how many essays approximately did you practice, and how was your experience? Like, how did your SFAs help you with your AWA section?
AWA, for the AWA, I went through the rubric in some of the books out there, which was there, and initially I had started practicing a few from the list of AWA topics given in the UTS website. Those are the pool of topics from which you can come, and all, like there were some things regarding sentence construction and which my global SFA pointed out to me, which I had to correct. Yeah.
Oh. Now, how did your SFAs help you with your GRE preparations? What was their role in your GRE preparation?
Well, my SFAs were a real help because I had just started seriously preparing for 28 days to get my GRE. So, and I cannot thank them enough for the role that they played in my GRE. After I gave my diagnostic test, they were very efficient in chalking up a study plan, which was a very well thought out plan to begin with, and it gave me. It was not too taxing on me, whereas and at the same time it was not like I could slack off for a bit and not do something. So it was a very efficient study plan which they did. And it also allowed me at least some time to focus on my research, and I'm really glad that I could do this during my GRE. At least 1 hour or two I could devote to my work as well. And apart from that, they provided me feedback on every performance, encouraged me for every good performance, and pointed out my flaws. And they told me the ways to correct myself in whatever area for every below expectation performance. And in addition to that, I was given some additional material in the form of videos and some stuff, which really helped me a lot in my preparations.
Okay. Do you have a specific message for your student facilitators?
Okay. I'm really related to both of my SFAs, and like without their constant guidance and without their constant support, encouragement, feedback, I could not have scored what I did. I wish both of you the very best in your respective lives ahead, and keep on continuing to guide many more students and to achieve the best possible score that they can.
Okay. Now you've shared a lot of information with us, Shanko. We have a surprise for you from GREedge. Your student facilitators have shared a message for you. Abhinaya ma'am has shared this message to you. She says Shanko was very regular in his preparation, and he completed all the sessions, and he was very strictly following. So how do you feel?
Oh, big thanks to her. Big thanks to her. Really, it's really great coming from her. Yeah.
And not only your Quant SFA, your verbal SFA has also shared a message for you.
Okay. Okay.
So he also shared a message for you. So this is one thing that we want to share it on your SFA's behalf.
Okay.
Now we
Okay.
should have the most important section, the question answer section. So how are you guys awaiting this section? I'll just take few questions from all of you, from each of you, and then I'll post it to Shanko. The first question I would want to know from you is, how did editorials on newspapers, how did it help you for your GRE verbal section, Shanko?
Okay. Most of the passages that come on the GI, it's either dealing with a change, or it's dealing with something. Author is giving an opinion on something. So in all the editorials which comes out in the newspaper, it's a bit okay. The RC passages that we get, it expresses the author's opinion on something, or authors express some issue or something. He may stance, he may take a positive stance or a negative stance. So even the editorials, the way the editorials are written, it's similar. It's like the author is expressing his views about the change, or maybe he's upset about this particular situation. So reading editorials will really help in your RC passages.
Okay. Now, did you all hear that, guys? Was that useful for you? Will that help you for your GRE preparation? Yes. Now, Shanko, I'm just taking Rahul's question. Did you take the ETS power prep, and how did it? How was it useful for you? Was it accurate?
It's near accurate. I took the ETS power prep, both the exams as well. And yeah, you should give it because it's a good indicator of where you stand with respect to your GRE score. And on the given day, it's like either plus minus 3 from your score. In most cases, yeah.
Okay. Here, Sai Teja wants to know, how did you tackle facing probability, permutation, combination type questions?
Actually, I picked up my first I went through all the questions that was there, and I revised them again, all the questions and the solutions to that, and I analyzed what a particular sum was, what a particular sum was asking of me, and how the solution proceeded. And so that was a bit understanding the algorithm of approaching a problem. Then I took out my class 12 maths textbook and it was standard, and just practiced it from some additional problems from there as well, which helped me in my preparations. But I would say I was lucky in my GRE actual thing, because I got just one question probability in the entire thing. So I was lucky in that sense.
You must have been really lucky. Hope all our students are also lucky in that case.
Yeah.
Now, Shanko, how much time did you prepare per day for your GRE?
Per day, yeah, as I had very little time starting to prepare, and I devoted a lot of time, and it was like around 12 hours a day I prepared, and yeah, because I had a lot less time to prepare, so I had to give in my maximum amount every day, whatever I could.
Alright, guys, did you hear that? He prepared for 12 hours per day. So, over 28 days, if he could score. So, close to 12 hours per day, and 28 days it is close to 336 hours for his GRE. Yes, Pooja says it is shocking. That must you must be a very hard worker in that case, Shanko.
Yeah, I was.
Now, guys, do you have any? Yes, Shanko.
I said like it just. Yeah, I was very determined to score high in this exam, so I decided to give it all my best with all I had. So that was the motivation.
Anurag here says, "What gives you energy?"
Well,
Okay. Now, yeah, Shanko.
well, should I answer it with a joke or should I answer it seriously?
No, that was just a comment from a. Okay. Now,
Okay, I can say
have
this
you
won't
taken
be
a TOEFL exam, Shankar?
No, I haven't taken my TOEFL exam.
Okay, so when are you planning?
I haven't really decided it because I had all my when I was doing my masters in England, I already had given an IELTS exam, and there are many universities which I am exempted from giving a English proficiency report. So I also but there are some universities which demand uh, TOEFL score from me. So I am planning on giving it after my in November. Like I have a subject GRE coming up in October. So after that, I'll give my GRE sometime in November.
Okay. Shanko, I have two questions for now. Vamshi wants to know, is taking coaching mandatory?
Um, well, it's up to you actually. Like whatever you're comfortable with, just go ahead with that. But I would say like getting an outside perspective on your shortcomings and weaknesses always helps.
Now, what could be the best time for a student to give the GRE?
The best time like should be as early as possible. Like whenever you have time, and around July, August, September should be comfortable. Should be within comfortable limits for application to fall next year.
How did you manage time during your exam? For example, reading comprehension passages are very lengthy. Quant problems, high difficult level problems are time consuming. So how did you manage time during your GRE exam?
For the RC passages, like for a verbal section, I had targeted to give maximum 1 minute per question for the sentence completions and text completions and sentence equivalences. That was 1 minute per question. That was upper limit of it. And for the short passages that were there, the maximum time allotted was around 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Yeah. For the long passages, I devoted around 8 minutes or so. Yeah. And for the medium passages, around 3-4 minutes.
Okay, that should be very useful for all our students because they find it very difficult to manage time.
Yeah, so
now,
one thing I would say, like to be really comfortable with time management in the RC section, this is just from my perspective. You can try it as well. Was like try to like devote maximum of 1 minute per question to the vocab part, which is the text completion and sentence equivalences, and that will help you with ample time for your RC.
in case you did not listen to what he said, guys, he just asked you to spend close to 1 minute for all the other type of questions, sentence equivalence and text completion, so that you can have some time for the reading comprehension section. Now, Shanko, how many full-length tests did you approximately take before your GRE exam?
Okay, close to 2, 4, 5, 9, 13.
You took 13 full-length tests.
Yeah. This was from the web, yeah.
So what was the difference? What was your score in the first test? What was the score in the last test? If you can give us the progress, like how consistently were you progressing in your preparation, and how did tests actually help you?
Yeah, my the first test that I gave, I scored 312, which was very like I was a bit disappointed with that, but then I knew like I had room to improve, and subsequently gave other exams. What the online exams does is like it gives you an experience of what it prepares you for the actual GRE as well. Online exams are really helpful, and plus the giving the ETS power prep as well really help, and the GREedge adaptive tests were also very helpful.
Okay, I have two interesting questions in front of me. Rahul wants to know, what preparation did you do just one day prior your GRE date?
Okay, in the morning I just gave the adaptive test uh, for which was in the GREH learning chapter, and the rest of the day I just spent watching TV. Too. I did not want to like
Rest of the day?
yeah, I did not want to stress myself out before the exam, because I knew I was already stressed out in my mind. I did not want to stress myself out physically as well.
Rohit has a question which actually a lot of students have in mind. They find it very difficult. It would be good if you can answer this. How, if you come across a new word in the GRE exam, unfortunately, if you come across a new GRE word, how would you guess the meaning of the word? How would you approach that question?
Um, First of all, if I don't know the meaning of the word, first what I would do is like I would I would just go through the other options, leave that aside, go through the other options, see if any of the other options matches the fits the answer in that particular question. So if none of the other answers fit the question, then that word will obviously be your answer. So that is one way of bypassing a difficult word, knowing the meaning of a difficult word. But if if you don't know a meaning of two words, let's say, which are given and both are possible answers, try to break it up into its origins, and there are some material available as well uh, in the books which will help you with this. Try to break it into parts, like with the origin, or basically finding out the origin of the word. Finding out the origin of the word will definitely lead you to a meaning of the word, because, and this is something which has been stressed as well in the books, because GRE does not ask you the exact meaning of a word. It asks you like the function of a word in the context of a particular sentence.
Okay. Thank you, Shanko, for that. It was really nice. Kritika has one good question. After how much preparation did you first take your full-length test?
Okay. After how much preparation? Like when I finished my studying for the books, and just after giving my diagnostic test for GRE Edge, and I gave my first adaptive test. It was not with full preparation, but yeah, with the amount of preparation I wanted to see, like the amount of preparation that I had like during that time. Like I wanted to see like where I stood. So that was the time when I gave my first year exam. But if you are comfortable, if you are comfortable and have a lot of time on your hands, so you can just prepare yourself fully and then start giving the uh, adaptive test as well, because that will be better for you. I think so.
Okay. What is your AWA score in the GRE, Shanko?
I haven't yet got my AWS score. Sorry.
Shanko GRE exam was on 22nd, guys, so he hasn't received his AWA score, so he'll receive it shortly. So do you have any expectations on the AWA front, Shanko?
Uh, Well, anything above 4, anything around 4, 4.5, 5 would be nice.
Okay. Pranav has a brilliant question. How important is the book versus GREedge material? You mentioned GREedge material is at a higher level, but can one ignore books?
No. You have to supplement both of the materials for the optimum preparation.
Okay. For a complete preparation, everything
Yeah.
is essential.
Yeah. Try to gather as much information as possible. It won't do you any harm. It will only benefit you. Just go ahead with it.
Alright. Now, guys, do you have any more questions? Okay. Sachin has a good question. Is booking the date, should it happen first, or preparing for the GRE exam, should it happen first?
Booking the date first, I would say, because booking the date gives you a target, sets a target for you, and you can plan accordingly. If you just prepare for the exam, you can meander along, you can like waste a lot of time. I'm not saying that you will, but it might happen. So it's better to like set a date first, set a goal, and then chalk out a plan for it, and that would be beneficial for you.
Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. How would you suggest? Would you suggest this book to students for vocabulary preparation?
Pardon?
Word Power Made Easy book by Norman Lewis. Is it suggested for GRE preparations?
I did not go through the book. Sorry.
Generally, a lot of students would ask whether that is useful, but we say it might be useful, but not for the GRE. So we just wanted to hear it from you.
Okay.
Now,
I did not go through the
Shango,
book.
there are a lot of yes.
I said I did not use the book, so I'm sorry I could not be of any help.
Okay. Sumit has a good question. Which section should one focus more on?
Like focus on both, like both of your score, both of the sections contribute to your score. And there should not be, I think like there should not be any preference. Try to do well in both the sections. But
Zishan
try
has a
to,
nice question. Okay.
I
Continue,
just
Shango.
I just like to add one more thing. It's like, but focus more on the section which you feel you're not comfortable with, because that will enable you to score higher in that section.
Zishan has a question. What specific things to do if one is not good in quant?
Okay. What you can do is, like, the first thing I would say is practice as many sums as possible. There is no alternative to practicing. That's my opinion and my take on things. Uh, and and uh, what you can do before practicing is like go through all the questions that have been asked. Just see how each question has been solved, like what type of questions are there, and how it is being solved, and try to analyze the algorithm first, and try to do similar sums and try to build up your confidence by practicing similar sums, and ultimately I'm sure with you'll get a good score on your quant section, maybe a 170 as well.
Sachin wants to know what practice test is close to the actual GRE test.
Uh, well, it's been touted that the GRE Power Prep exams are the closest, but you should not ignore. Having said that, you should not ignore the other adaptive tests, the online adaptive tests that you have access to. Like, do everything.
Alright. So guys, did you hear that with his answer? Yes. Suhas, he just told that this ETS power prep test is very close, but still you shouldn't ignore other tests as well. Alright. There are a lot of questions coming up. I not know which one to choose. So now, what is the message that you would want to convey to our audience, Shanko?
Okay, dream big, work hard, have faith in your abilities, then nothing can stop you from being successful in life. And most important of all, do things that make you happy. And specific to your GRE preparations, practice as many questions as possible, give as many tests as possible, learn, and I would stress this: assimilate, imbibe, and understand as much material as possible, because ultimately there is no alternative to hard work.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I'll just take few questions before we move on to the next part. Srivardhan wants to know, can GRE alone take one person to a top university?
Uh, depends on the field you're applying to, and admission processes are very obscure. But yeah, I don't think that GRE scores are. It's my personal opinion. I might be wrong because yeah, but I personally don't think that GRE scores alone will take you into a top university. It's your overall profile, your CGPA or your percentages, whatever, then your work experience, then and obviously GRE score will help you to get into a good university, but it won't be the sole criteria for you getting into a good university.
Okay. Shanko, now, how long should one person prepare before actually taking the GRE exam?
Well, ideally one should prepare for 3-4 months. I would feel 3-4 months would be more than enough. Yeah.
Okay, so 3-4 months would be more than enough is his answer. Now, is work experience a mandatory criteria to get into a university?
Again, not mandatory, but desirable. Yeah. Because if you have experience working in some field, it obviously helps you in your higher studies as well.
Now, how did you manage learning words in only 28 days? How should one
Uh,
actually do?
uh, okay. Try to learn first. Try to learn the high frequency words from the books available, and because those are the words you're most likely not to know the meaning of. Not that you won't, but most likely. So do that, then go through what, and as I said earlier, for every practice exam that you give, try to like learn and revise all the words that you don't know the meaning of.
Okay. Thank you for that, Chanko. I just have a lot of questions still coming in front of me. Um, do you have any comments on CGPA or percentage a person should have? Should it be
Uh,
high or low?
yeah, like it should be high. Like, higher CGPA will obviously put you ahead of the competition.
Alright. So, guys, is that all? Alright. So, what do you all want to convey to Shanko, guys? A lot of them have already started thanking you.
A big welcome to all of you.
They're here. Good luck says Parag for you.
Yeah, all the best to you as well.
Now, guys,
Uh,
after all this beautiful information that you've heard, after all this valuable information that you've heard, the seminar hasn't ended. I just have something more for you. Now, how many, just guess how many students have got 320 plus with GREedge like Shanko? 100, 520 says Venkat, 1000 says Navneet, a lot of students. The actual answer is 520 plus students have scored 320 plus in their GRE, just like Shanko.